how to operate something. Testing one, two, three, testing one, two, three. I know you've seen this picture. This is Candace Owens. Candace Owens. She's a political commentator. Um, she claims to be an activist, but it is not for. Um, it's. I really don't feel that it is for our community. I feel it's for the white community. She gets paid to basically destroy black people. She claims it's black conservatism, but it isn't. It's destruction um, on all levels, and it creates confusion. I don't mind a black person being conservative, but you are not. You're not doing the right things, Candace Owens. You're pandering to our community, and you're pandering also to the white community. You're pandering to two communities, um, the black community and the white community. And you're saying the things that white people want you to say because they want to validate the things that they believe in stereotypes. And then you're also saying things to black people who want to be looked at as if they've achieved all these things on their own when they haven't. And I feel like if it hadn't have been for the people that have come before us and they hadn't have marched, they hadn't have protested, the freedoms that we're now one day, probably very soon, if people don't wake up, if they deny us those freedoms, we won't even be able to get the opportunity to do those protests anymore. We won't be able to go to someone to complain about racism that is happening in the workplace or racism that is happening in our communities. We won't be able to have a voice for our communities thanks to people like Candace Owens and many others that are online on YouTube promoting all these lies, saying that Sonia Macy, the shooting was justified when it was not justified. It was not justified. She didn't deserve to be killed and gunned down in her kitchen. How dare you? I saw a video where a guy, he claims he's a former officer, he's black. He has a big following, and he was basically making up stories, making up lies, making it seem as though, now you've seen the video, haven't you? If you hadn't, go take a look at it. Making it seem like Sonia Macy put a pot of hot water on the stove and as if she was going to throw it at the officer. She did not do that. I didn't see that. Did you see that? So we've got bad actors out there who they're supposed to be black, who are making up these YouTube videos and they're lying on YouTube, full on liars. I'm telling you, they're getting paid by the right. They're getting paid by the right to make up these lies and to make black people confused, to accept the trauma, to accept the racism, to accept the killings. We know what we see. We know when we see racism. You know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to have gone to school for 4 years to see racism when it's at its worst, in your face and up front and close and personal. Just so now that we have the internet, we're able to see a lot more of it. And so that's why they're making laws to try to even make that impossible, that you can't even videotape when you're being wronged. So if they're making laws so that you can't even fight against the racism that is happening towards you, wake up, people. Can't you see what's going on? It is orchestrated, systematic racism in these institutions. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're trying to get into these political seats so that they can promote people like Candace Owens, so that they can get hired on jobs, so that they can fire you, so that they can make your life a living hell, so that you